at this moment in hockey history. The Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 5th place in the Central Division after 55 games skated. They have a record of 28, 25, and 258 points, has them 2 points behind the 4th place St. Louis Blues, and also has them 13 points behind the 3rd place Winnipeg Jets, which would be for an automatic qualifying playoff spot. Now, let's talk about the entirety of the Central Division. Let's start with the most updated standings going from the top down. It is the Dallas Stars with a record of 34, 14, and 8, 76 points on the season. They are in first place in the Central Division. The Colorado Avalanche with 72 points on the season are in second place. The Winnipeg Jets in third place with 71 points. So the Dallas Stars getting just a little bit of separation there at the top of the Central. Then we see a drop-off after that of 11 points between third place and fourth place. The St. Louis Blues in fourth with 60 points, and the Nashville Predators with 58 points in fifth place, in Minnesota also with 58 points in sixth place. So what we have developing here is the three-team weave that is going to be competing for the Central Division title up until probably the final periods of the season. It is that close amongst that grouping and has been for some time. And then it looks like we're emerging to have a three-team wild card chase pack. The St. Louis Blues, the Nashville Predators, and the Minnesota Wild. And then the Arizona Coyotes are just kind of starting to slide out of it now. 8 points behind the Minnesota Wild in 7th place, and Chicago Blackhawks at 33 points are in 8th and last place, which is where they will finish the season. But it looks like we are developing three different groupings here in the Central Division now as we head towards the playoff race. The Nashville Predators realistically very much still in the wild card hunt. The wild card updated race is the LA Kings, who are absolutely red hot. The Preds will be facing off against the LA Kings soon. We'll get to that here in a second. The LA Kings in the first wild card spot with 64 points. St. Louis Blues with 60 points are in the second wild card spot. The Nashville Predators, the first team on the outside, looking in with 58. Minnesota also with 58. So the Predators 2 points out of a wild card spot thanks to their head-to-head victory over the St. Louis Blues to begin this road trip. Now, talking about this road trip, once the Nashville Predators wrap up this game in Vegas, which is the next stop, Thursday they will be in LA, Saturday in San Jose, Sunday in Anaheim, back home on the 27th of February to face off against the Ottawa Senators, and then it is a leap year. So February the 29th, we'll see a game of Bridgestone Arena, the Minnesota Wild. That will be a game of critical importance in the wild card race and in the Central Division. So the Predators have a couple of games very, very important to them in the wild card race coming up here in the next stretch of games. The Nashville Predators' next game will take place on the road. They have a record of 14, 10, and 2 on the road. The Predators scored 167 on the season. They've given up 179 overall. The goal differential of minus 12. Their next opponent is the Las Vegas Golden Knights. They have an overall record of 32, 17, and 6. 70 points has them second overall in the Pacific Division, only behind the number one overall in the NHL, Vancouver Canucks. On home ice, the Knights have an incredible record, 19, 7, and 2, 177 goals, scored 149 goals against. That's a goal differential of plus 28. Now, Nashville Predators and the Vegas Golden Knights have met one time already this season. They will meet one more time this season after this game. So we're at the hinge point of the regular season series between these two Western Conference rivals. It was back on the 15th of January when they met for the first time. It was in Vegas, and the Golden Knights scored victory 4-1. UC Saros took the loss, going 25 out of 28. Luke Evangelista picked up the goal for the Nashville Predators. It was Thompson picking up the win for Vegas, 34 out of 35 in that game. Stone dominated for the hat trick, 3 goals in that game. Marchessault picked up the other goal for Vegas. They'll meet one more time. It'll take place on March the 26th. It'll be Vegas's only trip to Bridgestone Arena to Nashville. Again, that will happen on March the 26th. Now, let's take a look at the most recent action for the Vegas Golden Knights before we drill down on the rankings for this particular matchup coming up late on a Tuesday night, at least late for the Central Time Zone. Let's go back to when the Knights came out of the All-Star break and start right there on February the 6th. 3-1 win versus Edmonton on the 8th of February is a 3-2 win at the Arizona Coyotes on the 12th of February. A 5-3 loss versus the Minnesota Wild on the 17th of February. 3-1 loss at the Carolina Hurricanes. And most recently on the 19th of February, a 4-0 win at San Jose. Thompson picks up the win, gets the shutout, 29 out of 29 in that game. So back-to-back scenario for the Vegas Golden Knights. They will travel from an afternoon game in San Jose back home to wait for the Nashville Predators. Now, the Nashville Predators should have been waiting for them for a day or two now, but we all know the story by now. The Nashville Predators had that plane turned around. They were not going to get a chance to go to the Sphere. They were not going to get a chance to go see U2. It's become a whole thing. I'll address it a little bit more later in the episode. So the Vegas Golden Knights score the 4-0 victory, jump on the plane, head back home, wait for the Nashville Predators, and then we will have this particular matchup right here in the goals for category. Vegas Golden Knights now are at 3.15 goals per game. That's 14th best in the league. The Nashville Predators at 3 goals per game is 19th overall in the NHL. Goals against Vegas Golden Knights, very, very good number right here. 2.69 given up per game is 6th overall in the National Hockey League, while the Predators are giving up 3.25 per game. That is 22nd in the National Hockey League. Shots for category, Vegas is generating 31.1 on net per game. That is 15th. And the Nashville Predators are generating 31 on net per game. That is 16th in the shots against category. 30.4 for Vegas is 20th. 30.6 is 22nd for the Nashville Predators. In the special teams metrics, it is going to be the Vegas Golden Knights favored in both of these categories. On their power play, they are converting at 19.6%. That's 20th overall in the league. 36 out of 184 opportunities. The Predators' power play is at 19.4%. They are 21st, one spot behind Vegas. 37 out of 191 opportunities. On the penalty kill, the Vegas Golden Knights are killing off 80.7%. That's 12th overall. 29 power play goals against on the season. The Nashville Predators penalty kill is killing off 75.4%. That's 27th rated. That has dropped considerably over the last several weeks. 43 power play goals against. That, unfortunately, has risen over the last couple of weeks. Now, when it comes to every team in the NHL, a boatload of talent on each and every roster across the NHL, but we always like to talk about at least the top 5 scorers and the potential goaltending matchup for this particular game. For the Nashville Predators coming on into town, Philip Forsberg's at 26 goals and 29 assists for 55 points. The captain, Roman Josi's, at 11 goals and 39 assists for 50 points. O'Reilly's at 20 goals, 27 assists for 47 points overall on the season. Nyquist, 12 and 30 for 42. And then Tommy Novak's moved into sole possession of 5th on scoring, passing Colton Sissons, 11 goals, 16 assists, 27 points. Updated statistics over on the Vegas Golden Knights side of the ledger sees Stone at 16 goals and picking up an assist against San Jose, now 37 assists, 53 points on the season. Marchessault is at 28 goals and 16 assists for 44 points. Eichel, 19 goals and 25 assists for 44 points. Carlson's now at 17 goals and 18 assists for 35 points. And Barbashev is at 13 goals and 19 assists for 32 points. Remember, Stone had 3 of his 16 goals in the season against the Nashville Predators. Marchessault has 28 goals, so he's been dominant all season, but he did have 1 of his team-leading 28 against the Nashville Predators. Luke Evangelista scoring the only goal for the Nashville Predators against Vegas this season. Anticipated goaltending matchup in net since Thompson got the start, got the shutout, 29 out of 29. To be honest with you, it was not a very heavy workload. The San Jose Sharks are not a very good hockey team, so Thompson should be resting in favor of Adin Hill, but not 100% sure if Thompson will get the hot hand and get the chance to ride since he got the shutout. But let me give you Hill's stats as if I believe that is going to be the starter. 14, 4, and 2 on the season, 931 save percentage, 2.06 goals against average, and 2 shutouts on the season. You see Saros expected to get the starter net 21, 21, and 2, 902 save percentage, 3.02 goals against average, also 2 shutouts on the season. That's got you all set up for the Nashville Predators at the Vegas Golden Knights. It is the Nashville Predators' most difficult stop on this 5-game road trip. Next up is LA after that. That is a critically important game in the wild card playoff race. And then San Jose and Anaheim back-to-back to close out the road trip. They are winnable games. The Nashville Predators in the middle of a pivotal 5-game make-or-break road trip on the season. Next stop, Vegas. Preds need to come out of there with at least 1 point against the Golden Knights.